And I am the co-host of the World Tai Chi Qigong Summit with Lama Tantrapa. We are excited to bring this programming to you. There's a wealth of information and knowledge that we have packed in today. We're going to be moving on to our next presentation with Dr. Kevin Chen on the effect of Bigu fasting on Qigong practice. So it's going to be a really exciting presentation, definitely some knowledge that will be new to many people. So without further ado.
Hello, welcome to the 2024 World Tai Chi Qigong Summit. My name is Kevin Chen, a faculty from University of Maryland School of Medicine. I'm happy to share one of my favorite subjects here with everyone. That is the role of Bigu fasting in Qigong practice. And when people hear this subject, they probably have many questions, such as, what is Bigu fasting? What are the differences between Bigu and regular fastings? And what is the purpose for us to doing Qigong cultivation and its relationship with Bigu fastings? So that is the point I will get into this subject. How our Bigu fasting can affect our Qigong practice from physical health, mental health, psychological effects, and spirituality, and more importantly, the development of human potentials. Now I would like to share my PowerPoint so you can easily to understand what I'm talking about here. What is Bigu? Bigu, the Chinese character, or two words, literally mean avoid grain, but the actual meaning is more than that. Bigu refers to a natural state after Qigong or mind-body practice. In that state, you have no desire for food when Qi is full. Let the inner system rest while making the rapid progress in your Qigong cultivations. This is mostly a Taoism tradition, but both Buddhism and Taoism monk practice Bigu once in a while. One of the outstanding features is you will not feel hungry when not eating. So in other words, Bigu is not simply not eating, but also a wellness practice or wellness technique to collect energy from nature for body's needs. It's a high level of body-mind practice with information regulation and self-adjustment technologies. It is a process of system shutdown, restart, cleaning up, and letting go. The earliest record in the Chinese literature about Bigu is in the Shi Ji, the record of histories, about more than 2,100 years ago. So in that Shi Ji, they mention about 乃学辟谷, 导引轻生, learn to Bigu, 导引 to light up body. Another famous book from a tome out of Western Han dynasties called 却谷食气篇, avoid grain when eating qi, in Western Han dynasty about 2,000 years ago. In that book, they describe the details how to do Gaben Qi and Bigu. In the book, the history of Liu Hou family tell the story of General Zhang Liang's Bigu practice. That is, Zhang Liang is a very famous general in Han dynasties. General Zhang Liang was very sick at that time, so he did learn Bigu and Daoyin and remained that state for years. Once he did Bigu for more than 1 year, I indicate it was very effective for his health improvement. And General Zhang Liang is actually 5th generation grandfather of the Taoism religion founder, Zhang Tianshi. So what is the difference between Bigu and the regular fasting we'll talk about? I'm going to summarize this difference in 4 different aspects. First, the difference in defining energies. We all know people rely on energy to survive. Regular fasting considers food and fat the major source of energy for living, but Bigu defines energy in much broad sense, including light, qi, water, saliva, body vibrations, etc. Difference in method. Fasting is simply not eating. No need for learning or preparations. It lasting about 1 day to 5 days. But Bigu has many different operational methods needed to learn and practice with focus on obtaining energy in alternative way. Usually last 7, 14, 21 days or much longer. Difference in reactions. Fasting emphasizes perseverance, during which practitioners experience hunger and various painful reactions. When Bigu does not have a sense of hunger, but feel happier, calmer, and more energetic. Differences in theoretical base. Fasting practice built on concept of nutrients, metals, cells, and detoxification, etc. But Bigu built on the theoretical basis of human nature correspondence, 天人合一, and the theory on no desire for food when qi is full. We are living on qi, night, water, and self-vibrations. So maybe let's talk about different dimensions in terms of living. Why are we suddenly interested in fasting or Bigu? Because more and more scientific research reveal the health benefit of fasting. For example, this article published in New England Journal of Medicine, one of the top medical journals, reviewed literatures of effect intermittent fast on health, aging, and disease. In this review, they noticed that intermittent fasting have many health benefits that are not simply the result of reduced free radical or low weight loss, but elicit evolutionarily conserved adaptive cellular responses that are integrated among organs in a manner improve glucose regulation, increase stress resistance, and suppress inflammations. Review of clinical study have showed that intermittent fast has broad spectrum benefit for many health conditions, such as obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and neurological disorders. And this is a review about recent trend in publication in the field of intermittent fasting from year 2000 to 2020. During that 20 years, yearly publication about intermittent fasting from 1 to 5 articles to 100 to 300 articles. There are many known health benefits. I'm summarized in this few sentences. You can hear how important it is. So fasting for 12 to 14 hours, body began fatty acid-based metabolism. Burning fat, losing weight. Fasting 14 to 16 hours, body produces more growth hormones, human growth hormones. Fasting 16 to 18 hours, body activates autophagy process to reboot the whole immune systems. And fasting 72 hours or longer, body will generate more stem cells, regenerations. So that is very important for our health. The other major health benefit for Bigu fasting, including the detoxifications, especially for digestive systems. Boost immune systems, 72 hours fasting will reboot entire immune systems. Lose weight safely by reboot metabolic systems. Beautifying your face, reduce wrinkling by self-melting during Bigu. Prolong cellular life and promote longevity is one of the known methods we can slow down aging process. Purifying the blood and soften the blood vessels. Anti-cancer effects. Repair the body to get rid of many chronic diseases because Bigu fasting activates the body's self-healing potentials. Adjust the spleen and stomach. 80% of stomach disease can get cured after 1 or 2 quality of Bigu. Fighting inflammations, reduce inflammation in the bodies, treating long-time injuries, swelling, and different pain and aches. So, what is the purpose of Qigong cultivation? And please ask yourself that questions. And then from that purpose of Qigong cultivation, we will look into the connection to the Bigu fasting, because probably Bigu fasting can achieve all those purposes for you in a much rapid and effective ways. So we're going to cover what is Qigong first. Qigong, the 2 words. Qi literally means vital energies, breathing of life. Gong is a skill or achievement. So Qigong is really a term about the skill or achievement of breathing or vital energies. However, the terminology of Qigong is more than the face values. Qigong now is a general term for many different forms of traditional Chinese mind-body exercise and therapies. The practice has a history more than 3,000 years. In the history, there are many other names being used, like Daoyin, conducting, Tu La, inhalation and exhalation, Xiu Nian, cultivating and refinement, Jing Zuo, meditations, Xing Qi, moving the Qi, Guan Xiang, guided imageries, Yang Shen, nurturing life, etc. So the term Qigong did not become popular until 1950s, when doctors and healthcare professionals start doing research on why the Qigong has such wonderful effects. So they use the Qigong as the term to summarize all mind-body exercise. So Qigong is also a very important part of discipline in traditional Chinese medicine. In the textbook, I'm part of the editorial team. Chinese Medical Qigong is used in the Chinese Medical School College in China. It defines Qigong as the skill of mind-body exercise that integrate body adjustment, breathing adjustment, and mind adjustment into one. So the content of Qigong practice is that 3 adjustment. The goal of that practice is to integrate 3 adjustment into one, a special consciousness state. The classification of the discipline, it is body-mind exercise, so involve both physiology and psychologies. The category of the knowledge is operational skill or techniques. Everyone who practices can benefit from these skills. So what is the purpose? What are the purpose of your Qigong practices? I summarize following 5 aspects as the core purpose of Qigong cultivations, including enhanced physical health and bodily balance, cultivating Qi and achieve mind-body integrations, promoting mental clarity and psychological health, developing spirituality and human nature correspondence, reviewing or developing human potentials. Can you add anything else for the purpose of your Qigong practice? Bigu or Bigu fasting is actually a significant step of Qigong cultivations because Bigu is a wellness technique to collect energy from nature for the body's needs. Bigu is a natural state of higher Qigong cultivations when Qi is full, no desire for food. It is a significant stage of Qigong cultivations when you're breathing mind, body into one, that Qigong state. You have no desire for food. For example, many people have participated what we call closed gate cultivations, 闭关修炼. During that closed gate cultivation, you basically don't eat at all, meditate the whole days. So now let's lay out the effect of Bigu fasting on our Qigong cultivation or Qigong practice. Number 1, Bigu fasting improves our physical health. We have mentioned that earlier, right? And reduce your body weight, burning the fat after 12 hours. 14 to 16 hours, the body produces more human growth hormone. And 16 to 18 hours of fasting, active autophagy process, the whole immune system start to reboot. And fasting 72 hours or longer, body generates more stem cells start regeneration process. I want to mention a little bit more about Bigu fasting and human growth hormones. Human growth hormone plays a central role in the metabolism of your bodies. It is stimulating cell repair and tissue growth, activating thyroid hormones, burning abdominal fat, preserving muscles, increase calcium retention and bone mass. So human growth hormone deficiency in adults leading to higher body fat, lower lean body mass, and decreased bone mass. Any diet, high carb, low carb, or even keto diet, will inhibit the release of human growth hormones. So fasting is one of the most effective ways to stimulate and increase release of human growth hormones. The study found out during fasting, your growth hormone will increase over 10 times than regular times. Second, the impact of Bigu fasting on cultivating qi and mind-body integrations. Governing qi Bigu, one of the main methods in Taoism, is based on the skill of cultivating qi and the theory of low desire for food when qi is full. Later on, actually, I'm going to share a technique. How can you govern qi to make you feel no hungry? Cultivating qi is a significant part of Bigu practice. When Bigu open new channel and develop a new skill for qi cultivations. And Bigu fasting increases our energy levels. Bigu redirect energy away from the digestive process. So it allocate resource to other vital functions. So we can actually cultivating qi and getting better mind-body integration practices. The dual benefits of combining Qigong practice and Bigu fasting can achieve bodily and mental balance. Like you can better practice mindfulness and during your Bigu fastings. You can have better mind-body connection during Bigu practice, and you will have deeper Qigong meditations when you're not eating. Third, the Bigu fasting promotes mental clarity and mental health. Bigu is not simply for physical health, but also for mind cultivations. And Taoism believes that there was existent 3 insects, 三丝, in the bodies, which depends on green qi to survive. In order to get rid of the 3 insects, we must do Bigu so as to become immortal eventually. That is the goal of Taoism practice, is become immortals. The so-called 3 insects has many different explanations in the histories. One of the reliable way to look at them in the Huangting Wai Jing said the 3 insects implant the 3 desires in our human lives. That's the lust for self, lust for food, and lust for sex. Killing 3 insects is actually a mind cultivation process. So in order to killing the 3 insects, we need to do Bigu, and so Bigu process is not the physical body health, emotional body pleasures, and wisdom body unobstructed. So the 3 types of detoxification going on at the same time, and mind-body correspondence. So 三体排毒，身心合一。So how to achieve those goals? And of course, that's our Bigu fasting could teach you how to through Bigu. You can get rid of that 3 insects in your body. The other psychological effects of Bigu including the neurological disorder such as stroke, neuralgia, nerve palsy, headache, epilepsy, and etc. can all be quickly and indeed alleviated or cured after Bigu practices. It also has a regulatory effect on the autonomic nervous system and the endocrine systems. Bigu makes the mindset produce more benign change, more positivity, and easier to let go. Bigu is mainly about mind cultivations. When one can keep away from one of the major desire for food, one can let go of many things in life. Bigu also increase one's spirituality. Spirituality is what I mean cultivation of spirit. In the dictionary, it defines spirituality as a religious practice involving serious thinking or meditations. However, spirituality is not just limited to religions. Those people who without religion can still practice spiritualities. It is said only religion cures the worm in soul, when the doctor cures the disease of the body. Many religions practice fasting as ascetic, spiritual, and obligatory or religious practices. The practice of fasting vary from religion to religion at a different time. This is considered a sign of sacrifice to the god, or many religions have specific day and time for fasting. Do you know what is your religion's way of do the spirituality through fasting? So in other words, any cultivators or religious believers, monasticism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, Christian, etc., must go through the process of fasting, so to open the body and the spirit. Bigu or fasting is not just about being healthy. It is more joy of the soul. So it is a process of awakening and liberating. On the left side, you see one of the famous Chinese characters, Jackie Ma, the founder of Alibaba. In 2017, he spent millions of dollars training their chief management team with Bigu workshops. He said, Bigu, let me cooling down. When I am calm, the entire company will be calmed down and become more effective. Bigu is not only for the spirituality, but also help us uncover the human potentials, developing the potential for life. After Bigu fasting, the peripheral nerve of the five senses, such as vision, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting, become sharper, make people feel more clarity, and double their energy and wisdom. Bigu makes the mind more sensitive and detached, make the soul sublimation, indifference to the fame, material joy, and wealth. Bigu help us connecting with deep self and with deep universal energies. When people practice Bigu, they try to think in spiritual life to achieve the ring of human-heaven correspondence, 天人合一. The other area on Bigu help us developing life's potential, including Bigu can increase the cellular repair and regenerations. Fasting induces autophagy when cells remove damaged components. This cellular repair and regeneration process contribute to the overall health and longevity. Bigu increases growth hormones. Fasting may increase growth hormone by 10 times, and human growth hormone is the key to anti-aging and building muscles. Bigu improves the cognitive function. It enhanced mental clarity and focus. And Bigu also increased spiritual and emotional resilience. The discipline and self-control in fasting will contribute to the emotional resilience and a deeper understanding of oneself, so fostering personal growth and development. Bigu also enhanced mind-body connection. The mindful approach to fasting can strengthen the mind-body connection and achieve higher potential for the human being. Now, I would like to share one of the very important techniques during Bigu. It's total breathing or gabbling qi method. Gabbling qi method was reported in the Qigong literature many times, and it was reported in the Chinese Qigong magazine in the 1990s. There's a little boy falling in the well and shouting for help. Nobody came because that's the remote areas. He was in the well, not too deep, so he was survived, but he does not had no food to eat. And he looking up, only see the sky, but at lunchtime, he sees some turtles coming out from the wall of the well. And they're doing this breathing, neck going back and forth, and that we're going to do later. So he simulated that way of neck going back and forth and doing breathing like turtles and drinks well waters. And after 11 days, he was found still alive, a little bit weak, but alive without food for 11 days. So he shared the story, and that is where it's being called total breathing. It's actually Garbin Qi techniques recorded in Chinese Qigong literatures. There are 3 steps in Garbin Qi method. Step 1 is using a special breathing to open your Ren meridian in front of your body so the Qi can go through to your lower dantian easily. So usually you're going to pronounce the sound He. That's the sound for your heart meridians, for your commanders. And step 2 is the total breathing itself. You can breathe in Garbin Qi, eating Qi for up to 36 mouthfuls each meal, 3 times a day. I'm going to show you later. The third step is closing by meditations with focus on lower dantian so you can digest the Qi you have gatherings. And of course, during Bigu, you can do this anytime. And now I'm going to actually teach you the technique a little bit, okay? So first, just breathing to open the Ren meridians. Our regular breathing is inhale through nose, exhale through mouth, and with abdominal breathing. Inhale, expanding abdominal, exhale, abstract abdominals. However, before you're doing Garbin Qi, you need to send that, when you exhale, you need to send the Qi down to your solar plexus and then go all the way to lower dantian. Lower dantian is 1.5 inch below level. Okay, that Qi Hai point, the sea of the Qi. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, you have inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and try to pronounce the sound. You can feel. Put your hands in the chest. You can feel the vibration. And visualize the Qi going down to the solar plexus positions. Okay, so this is inhale, exhale. Again, in. Visualize Qi going down. And then send that Qi to lower dantian. Probably take you at least 3 to 5 breathing to get the sensation of Qi going down to lower dantian. So you can open the Ren meridian. If you don't have that sensation, you probably take about 3 to 5 minutes of practice this He sound of breathings. And this is actually very important meditation technique as well. We're going to mention this in other times when we have a chance. Now the second technique is Garbin Qi. Garbin Qi is leading the Qi. It's like a total breathing. If I do it from sideways, it's like a. Okay, so when you inhale, you open up mouth and imagine the Qi from far away all flowing towards your mouth. And then you bite in the Qi. You bite in the Qi. And swallow that Qi as you're swallowing a mouthful of the breath. And you hear your throat has grown. And then you use your hands, send those Qi to lower dantian. So that is the process for Garbin Qi. Let's try one more time. You need to hear that groom. Okay, let me do this. Oh, I forgot to mention, you need to face the window or door, or even do outdoors, because the outdoor has much more, give you much far vision to gather energies. Imagine energy coming to you, okay? And of course, you can actually face the sun, have the big bite of the sun, like a big piece of pie. So you really get the real energies, and then swollen, send it to lower dantian. Because the basic principle is when the Qi is full, you have no desire for food. So you can practice this when you feel hungry. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one more time. You hear that? Send the Qi to lower dantian and push down a few times. And if you're not sure whether you swollen the Qi or not, or in the beginning you're not used to this kind of a swollen empty mouth, and you can put a little bit of water under your tongue, swollen the Qi with the tongue and send it to lower dantian. Okay, let me give it a demonstrate. Put water under your tongue and then swallow the water with the qi, and you send it to lower dantian. Of course, you have water and air will come into your stomach and needs to reduce the possibility of the stomach massage each other to make you feel hungry. That will release that tension. More importantly, you're gathering the qi, the vital energies from universe, from the outside, and send it to your lower dantian and become your own energy supplier. Of course, during our governing qi bigu, you're going to drink a lot of spring waters. That will give you supplement for energy as well. After you swallow qi for 3 or 5 mouthfuls, you might feel a little bit thirsty. So make sure you bring a bottle of spring water with you when you go outside to gobble qi. And after you gobbling 36 mouthful qi, that is your one meal. And then you're doing this 3 times a day or whenever you feel hungry. Try this in one of the Sundays, okay? Try to do it, not eat breakfast, not eat lunch, and see whether you feel hungry at dinner times. If you gobble qi good enough, you will not feel hungry, you are ready for doing bigu fastings. So that's total breathing. And of course, at the end, you need to have attention to lower dantian, close your eye, doing a meditation to digest the qi you have gathered through your gobbling qi techniques, okay? And actually, you can search for YouTube videos. And I already have a YouTube video there called gobbling qi techniques or gobbling qi method or total breathings. You can search that for more details. Okay, so let's continue, finish our presentation. I would like to conclude our presentation with a special theme with our 2024 Qigong and Tai Chi Summit. It's experience abundance in harmony with the natures. Bigu is a surviving skill that we are born with. Many animals go through hibernation process. Our human has that potential as well. A lot of people ask me, I have this disease, I have that condition, can I do bigus? Well, if you believe your body's potentials, if you don't know much about the nutrients, glucose, and food metabolisms, yes, you can. Because not only those animals like a snake, frog, and bear, they're doing hibernations. But some animals, they don't doing hibernations, like chickens, like pigs. They can doing fasting or bigu for a very long time without dying, okay, without starve to death. So because those animals, they have no knowledge of nutrients and metabolism, but they have the intention to live. And as long as you give them water, they're able to survive, 10 days, 20 days, even 30 days. So bigu is experience abundance in harmony with the natures, the human nature correspondence, 天人合一, because Tao follows the law of natures. So nature has provided us with all the energy we needed to survive, except we don't know how to get them yet. So everything is done without doing. Wu wei or wu bu wei is very important Taoism philosophy and practices. We will follow the flow, we will follow the law of natures, we will become more abundance than ever. So abundance is not just external, but also an internal joy and tranquilities. Thank you for listening. And you can send me an email if you have any question, or you can go to our website and by scanning the 2-dimensional code. And we have more information about the bigu workshop I'm offering. I'm offering 3 times a week, 3 times a year, usually in the March and in July and in November. This year, we're going to do a bigu workshop online in July from Zoom, and from July 11th to July 14th, you're going to have a 4-day workshop, and you can bigu for 7 days if you want to. And hopefully see you online. Please let me know if you have any question. Thank you.
Well, that was a wonderful presentation by Dr. Kevin Chen, who is one of the world experts in bigu, or fasting, that is also associated with enhancement of energy and hopefully increasing the quality of our lives. How does this have to do with abundance? Well, If you don't spend any money on food, you can save a lot by doing that. I'm sure there are other really fascinating connections between the practice of Bigu and the experience of abundance, perhaps connecting with the greater energy resources. Abundance of energy is definitely one of the aspects of abundance. Improving your health. That may be another excellent application of Bigu. Now, let's continue our exploration of the topic of abundance through being in a flow by watching the presentation by another wonderful master. We are going to switch to the next presenter.
Hello, welcome to World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. I'm Marissa, founder of Yochi, and I'm pleased to guide you through this 5-element Qigong flow for abundance. Nature is filled with life force energy, and you are a part of nature. So heaven, earth, and the 5 elements are natural resources that you can always tap into. When we are out of alignment with nature, then we feel a lack of abundance. But when we are in the flow and in tune with nature, then we feel fulfilled and abundant, full of life force energy, and it's very easy to manifest abundance in your life. So we're going to tune in to this natural cycle in nature. It's called the 5-element generative cycle. We start with earth, we move to metal, water, wood, fire, and we'll finish by charging our central channel and connecting to the greatest resources of heaven and earth. Are you ready? Find a comfortable spot, a nice quiet and peaceful place, and let's get started. We'll begin in Wuji posture. So stand with your feet shoulder width apart and the toes pointing forwards. Spread open your toes and feel the contact of your feet with the earth. You can sink your mind down, down, down through the floor into the earth as if you were growing roots from your feet. Now relax your knees. Relax your hips. Relax the spine, the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Make sure there's some space under your armpits, that the arms aren't stuck to the body. They're nice and relaxed. And relax open your fingers. Now lift your pubic bone up slightly and tuck the chin in. Feel your spine lengthen. And activate the Tai Chi pole. This is the line of energy that runs from the crown of your head through the center of your body, out the pelvic floor, the perineum, to the earth. Feel your body balanced on this pole of energy. Now relax your chest and sink your breath into your dantian. Begin deep abdominal breathing. On the inhale, the abdomen fills with breath. And on the exhale, it pulls back towards the spine. Now relax your gaze and set your intention for your practice. In Qigong, they say that the yi leads the qi. The intention guides the qi. So wherever we set our intention, our focus, energy will go there, whether that's in the body, in the channels of the body, or to connect to the forces of heaven and earth and all of the abundance around you. So repeat after me. I intend to be a channel of abundance. Feel this intention resonate through every cell in your body and bring a smile to your face. Allow the smiling energy to spread through your eyes and shine through your heart. Now make the intention to move. And then begin to turn from your center. Allow the arms to swing and spiral. And then one hand knocks over the lower abdomen and the lower back. Keep your spine upright and turn from your central axis. The knees are nice and soft and bent. The qua is open, the hips relaxed. And here we are knocking on the door of life. The door of life is the Mingmen in Chinese, and this is a very important point or qi gate to activate the energy in your body. So we always want to begin our practice opening this point, lighting our fire. Now come to the middle and just knock over your navel and Mingmen on the lower back. So isolate the knocking. This area is called the Sea of Qi, and it is your energy bank account. So when we talk about abundance, this is the spot right here. This is where you store all the qi, and this is where your magnetic manifesting and attraction power comes from. It's also your connection to the earth, and Mother Earth is a huge resource of abundance. So enjoy the knocking and feel the vibrations. Now bring it to the front and just knock under the navel on this qi high point. We want to clear any blockage, any stagnation that would prevent us from receiving abundance or connecting to the abundance within us. So knocking here is very important. And you can come up to your liver. Say, hello, liver. The organs are treasures of abundance because this is where our spirits dwell. Come to the stomach. Say, hello, stomach. Hello, spleen. Thank you for all the work you do for me. Knock on the large intestine, the small intestine. Come down to the bladder. Can come all the way up to the solar plexus, clearing any emotions, any blockages, and back down to the navel. Now hold your hands over your dantian and unify your mind and dantian. Abundance is really about life force energy. You can have all the money in the world, all the material things, but if you don't have your health and you don't have energy, then none of that means anything. So right here is where you store your life force and the kidneys as well. And so this area is the most important part of your body to work with when you want to tap into your inner abundance. So bring your mind into your dantian and Yi Shou Dantian, unify your mind and dantian. Place your mind right in the center of your abdomen and take 3 deep abdominal breaths. Smile at your abdomen. Feel it nice and warm. Now we'll do one more purging exercise to clear any limiting or negative beliefs that block you from receiving and tuning into abundance. So rotate your palms to face forward and begin to bend the knees and pump. So this is another Shuai Shou Gong method, the arm swings. And I love this one because we are collecting the qi from nature, this infinite resource of abundance. So feel the energy in your palms as if you are gathering the energy from the air and all the elements around you. The trees, the water, the earth, the sun. Collect this energy in your palms and take a couple purging breaths. So inhale through the nose and blow out the mouth. Really let your weight sink into the earth, sinking anything you don't need down into the earth and gathering the good qi up into the head. And now bring your palms to your face and hold them over your eyes and begin to move the hands left and right. And you can move your eyes left and right with the hands and delete. You can imagine that you're deleting the words on a document on your computer, just returning this document back to a blank page. So deleting any limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, any thoughts that fog up or fill up your head. We're returning our mind to the empty, blank screen of pure awareness and pure potential. Now bring your palms over your eyes, become still for a moment, and then spiral the hands. Smooth out the qi. Send energy into your brain and feel the light growing, this bright white light, filling your head, opening your upper dantian to receive the blessings of abundance from the universe. To receive, it's so much easier when the mind is empty and clear, when we're open and not filled with thoughts. Good. Now come back to send some energy to your eyes and brain, and then lift the elbows up and push the hands down to face the earth. And you can say the affirmation, I am open and ready to receive the blessings of the universe. This Wuji posture, the feet are shoulder width, toes point forward. Bend the knees. Relax your shoulders and elbows. And feel the connection between your palms and the soles of the feet with the earth. Breathe deep into your abdomen. And take a moment to honor Mother Earth and the nourishment and support that she gives us. All of the food and animals and plants that give us life. And now draw your palms in towards your dantian. Push the palms forward as you bend the knees and open the qua. And then draw the energy in to the dantian. So connect to the earth essence and draw that qi into your dantian. Exhale as the hands go out. Inhale as the hands come in. So we use the breath and intention to draw the qi in the body and connect to this energy that is all around you. We're not only drawing energy from nature through the palms, but also through the feet. So when we open the hips and sink down, we're drawing qi up the soles of the feet, up the legs, into the dantian as well. Do one more. Now bring your palms to face the earth again and smile at your spleen and pancreas. The spleen is the organ of the earth that extracts the qi from the food. So smile at the spleen and fill the spleen with bright golden light, like sunshine shining on a field of abundant wheat. Breathe this golden light in the nose. Exhale the light into the spleen. And repeat after me. I trust life. Feel this affirmation resonate through every part of your body, trusting the natural abundance that Mother Earth gives. And Earth generates metal. So raise your hands up and open out to the sides and wiggle your thumbs. Then forward fold into the drinking bird. Straighten the legs and wiggle the thumbs. Inhale up. Exhale, palm faces palm. Pulse on the chi. Again, inhale, open, wiggle. Exhale, drinking bird. Nice forward bend. And roll on up. Inhaling and exhale, pulse. Again, this one activates the lung meridian. The lung meridian runs out through the thumbs. Inhale, open, and exhale, pulse. The lungs extract the chi from the air, another abundant resource of energy. So feel your lungs opening here. Nice back bend, open the chest. And stretch the back channel. Do one more. And now just pulse on the chi. So inhale, open. Exhale, close. And now palm facing palm, feel the chi in your hands that you've built up. And take this energy and place your hands over your lungs. Smile at your lungs. And fill them with bright white light. Inhale the white light into the lungs and exhale into the lungs. And repeat after me. I am healthy. Enjoy this feeling of abundant lung qi, your life force energy. Now lower your palms down to face the earth, and we'll move into the water element. Disperse your hands out to the sides. Backs of the hands draw up the center and circle out and down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Relax and flow like you're moving through water. This flow traces the kidney meridian, your organ of the water element, and the kidney meridian runs up the inside of the legs to the collarbones. Tune into this element of nature. So water is all about gentleness and effortless flow. Inhale up, exhale down. Do one more. And circle the arms to Bao Qi. Hold the Qi in front of your Dantian. And you can bring the hands back just a little bit. Lift your pubic bone and connect to your kidneys. Breathe into your lower back and smile at the kidneys. kidneys are nourished by the blue light. So inhale blue light through the nose. Exhale blue light into the kidneys. Smile at the water element, the abundant source of energy in your body. And repeat after me. I go with the flow. Beautiful. Water generates wood. So relax your arms a little bit forward and hold the energy in your dantian. And we'll do a flow called white ape picks a peach. So turn to your left and then take your right hand and reach up and pick the peach and then circle around to your right and bring that hand down. Inhale. Exhale. Here we're stretching the liver and gallbladder meridians, the organs and energetic meridians of the wood element. And embodying this action of rising. Wood rises, and in the spring, the fruits blossom on the trees. So pick the peach and fill up your basket here in your arms. Last time. And bring your hands back to Bao Qi in front of your lower dantian. Now connect to your liver on your right side and smile at your liver. This is the organ of the wood element, of growth. Now your arms are filled with all these peaches that you've picked. And enjoy this feeling of abundance right in your arms, filling up your arms. And connect this feeling of abundance to the liver. When we have so much, we want to give it and share it with others. And the virtue of the liver is generosity. So smile at your liver and breathe in the green light. Inhale green light through your nose and exhale into the liver. The liver radiating generosity and kindness. And you can say out loud, I am grateful. Now we're going to share these fruits with all beings, because when we're abundant, we are naturally in a state to share and spread our gratitude around us. So let's embody this state of sharing and gratitude and generosity with Monkey Offers Bananas. So bring the palms to face up by your sides. This is the Daimai channel, by the way, this loop that runs around the belt area. And then nail step your left foot in and then 45 degrees in front of you. And now shift your weight forward, palms face up, as if you're holding a plate, let's say of peaches, because that's what we just picked. And then come back and push forward again. So offer these peaches to your family, to your friends, to all beings. Share the abundance. This flow is for the fire element. Here we are opening the heart as the palms come back. Here, this opens the chest and the heart, and then offering the energy out from our heart. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And when you come back, sink and root into your back leg. And that momentum from the back leg pushes the body forward while the spine stays upright. Last time. Hold your palms up, still in this state of offering, and step back. And then nail step and 45 degrees, root down and push. Inhale, exhale. Embody this offering. Embody the gratitude that you're so filled with abundance. You have so much to share. Do one more. Now step back and bring your palms in front of your heart. Smile at your heart. And breathe in the red light. Filling the heart with love, joy, and happiness. And repeat after me. I am filled with abundance. Then lower your palms down. And we'll finish by connecting to the two main sources of Qi, heaven and earth. Open your palms, the sides, in a gesture of receiving. And then gather the heaven Qi. Sweep around the crown and then bring your hands down the central channel to the earth. Gather the earth Qi. Draw this energy up to your dantian. Here, fill it up, and then open again. Breath, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, gather. Exhale, open. Bring the energy over your crown and push the qi down the central channel to the earth. And then gather the earth qi up the legs to the dantian. Your central meridian channel connects you to the energy of heaven and earth. So this energy is always flowing through you, through this core channel. Do one more. And pause here at your dantian in the Bao Qi posture. Connect to your central channel and repeat after me. I am a conduit of energy. Feel your connection to heaven and earth and this abundance of qi flowing through you. Now we'll finish by integrating all of this good energy. So raise your left hand up and fingertips face heaven. And then draw your hand down the center of your body. Other side, inhale. And exhale. So this is a wonderful way to harmonize and integrate the qi we've cultivated in the central channel and digest all these good energies in the upper, middle, and lower dantian. Last time, balancing the mind, the heart, and the body. Place your hands over your lower dantian. Shift your weight and step your feet together. Relax your efforts and allow your body to rock and sway like bamboo. You can bend the knees slightly and just allow the qi to go where it needs to go for health, healing, and balance. Nature is filled with life force energy, and this resource is always available to you. All we have to do is relax and tune in. Smile at nature. Smile at your body's wisdom and enjoy this feeling of life force energy and internal harmony.
Well, that was a beautiful presentation by Marissa Cranfield.
Cransfield. Yeah.
That's something that we enjoyed coming from Southeast Asia. She is located in Thailand. Our previous presenter, Kevin Chen, was broadcasting from China. Now, another presenter also from that part of the world is Tivia Feng, who is located in Vietnam. And that presentation is going to also take us on the journey of exploring abundance through his own ways of doing that. So I am happy to share a next presentation in just a second. Please bear with me.
Now we're going to discuss the three treasures. But first, I want to read a quote to you from the Jade Emperor's Mind Seal Classic of the Taoist Canon, written in 1200 CE. The sages awaken through self-cultivation. Deep, profound, their practices require great effort. Breathing nourishes youthfulness. The Shun depends on life form. The Jing depends on sufficient Qi. If these are neither depleted nor injured, the result will be youthfulness and longevity. When the distant winds blend together in 100 days of spiritual work, and morning recitation to the Shangdi, that's heaven, then in 1 year you will soar as an immortal. So our guiding questions for today: how does Qigong cultivate the three treasures? How does the Taoist concept of the three treasures map onto modern science's view of the nervous system? How does Qigong work with the body and mind, physiologically and emotionally? So our three treasures: we have the Jing, which is life essence. We have the Shun, which is spirit. And we have the Qi, which is energy. So let's first talk about the Jing. The Jing corresponds to the physical self and the earth. The Jing determines how long you will live, and it's your life force. It's associated with your genetics. It can be depleted by life itself or exhaustion from being overworked, stress, and excessive emotions. It can be replenished through certain types of herbs and Qigong. Physician Zhang Jiebin, he said, essence is born by the holiest God and is the father of the living. Let's talk about Qi. Qi is a refined and subtle substance. It's functional activity of the organs in the body. Without Qi, you wouldn't be able to move and you would die. So Qi is the yang, it's the movement of blood. So Qi is the catalyst for the movement of blood. Blood is yin, wouldn't move without Qi. And we have many different kinds of Qi. The Shun. Don't seek fame or selfish gain, and pathogenic Qi will not be able to root itself into your body. This is a famous Chinese medicine classic. Qigong trains the Shun. That does it through concentration. When you concentrate, you're training the Shun. Qigong calms the Shun. A strong Shun is spirit, is someone who's intelligent, they're clear, they're centered, they're strong-minded, and they're at peace. So as I mentioned, Qigong concentrates the Shun by concentrating your focus, simplifies and purifies your mind, and diminishes your desires, keeping the mind tranquil. Because as we talked about with the heart, this fire of desire, it leaves the mind in a state of always having to get something. So when you do this, when you can keep your mind tranquil and at peace, and then you avoid consuming the Shun, because too much thinking and desire will lead to over-consuming the Shun. So the spirit is the controller of life. This is from chapter 10 of the classic of Holy Benevolence, or the Shengji Jing. The three treasures have a mutual effect on each other. So Qi is born from within the Jing, and the Jing within the human body during the course of our life is greatly affected by the movements of our mind through the actions of our Shun. So we cultivate spirit. You cultivate the Shun for mastery, mastery of self. We cultivate essence to produce Qi. That's the Jing, is the essence. And we cultivate Qi to become spirit. And this goes in a cycle, in a circle. So there's manifestations of the three treasures. The Jing manifests itself as heat. The Qi manifests itself as movement. and the Shun manifests itself as light. And the three treasures have a pyramid of progression. So Jing is the foundation. So when you have that Jing is generated, then the Qi, it can generate Qi, and then that feeds the Shun. So it goes through these three stages and then cycles back. Now, we have three bodies from the three treasures. So the Shun is the spirit body. The Qi is the energy body. And the Jing is the physical body. So these three treasures associate with these three bodies. Now, men are associated with earthly elements, while women are associated with constellations, stars. So these are our influences in terms of Jing. So a lot of women are more influenced by the moon cycles, and this makes sense when we think of this theory, where they say man is strong and grounded, while the women are connected to the stars. So these patterns are reflected in gender-specific innate nature and rooted in the anchor of the male and female Jing. So now we understand about these three treasures. We have to understand about the causes of illness. So we have three major causes of illness from a Chinese medicine perspective. These are environmental factors, excessive emotional stress built up over a period of time, bad habits such as lack of movement, overeating, and more. So let's look at environmental factors. We have pollution. We have food toxins, especially nowadays. We have pollution all over the world. We have toxins in our food through pesticides and fertilizers. We have heavy metals as a result. And I actually had heavy metal poisoning when I lived in China from too much heavy metals. And a lot of people have heavy metals and don't even realize it. So no matter what you do, no matter how much health you're trying to preserve, if you are consuming toxins, it's going to bring illness. Now, excessive emotional buildup. So too much desire, those emotions associated with the five elements, too much anger, too much worry, too much fear, too much grief. This, if it builds up over time, it can lead to illness. That's why we need to rid ourselves of it. That's why it's a core part of medical Qigong. Now, bad habits, going to sleep late is a bad habit that can bring illness. I had a friend who was in our class once, and he came in and he said, I'm doing everything. I'm taking Chinese medicine, I'm doing Qigong, and I'm still sick. And my master said, okay, so what's your job? He said, well, I'm a security guard. I said, okay, so what shift do you work? You work night shift? He says, yes, but I get 8 hours of sleep a day. He said, okay, well, what time are you going to bed? He says, well, I'm going to bed by 8 in the morning. He said, yeah, but you're up all night, and that's the time your organs need to rejuvenate. So it doesn't matter how much Qigong or Chinese medicine you eat, it's not going to work. You're going to be taking 2 steps back. You're lucky if you can maintain homeostasis at that point. So you need to sleep early. Not enough sleep is another cause of illness. Now, how much sleep do you need? There's different theories on that. Some people say 5.5 hours. Some people say 8.5 hours. Some people say it depends on you, on your constitution. Excessive work can bring illness. Incorrect diet, not having the right diet. Now, I'm not here to teach you diet because I'm not a dietitian, but you must eat healthy. Lack of exercise, lack of movement. So when we have lack of movement, the blood becomes sticky. It pools. The blood pools. Loss of circulation to the organs and stagnation builds. Remember that classic of difficulties I read you, that quote about the accumulation of this residue. So each one of these things you might say, okay, I might eat some donuts, I might go to bed late sometimes, but it's not a big deal. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to get cancer from that. Yeah, well, you probably won't right from that. But I call this the death by 1,000 cuts. So you do all these different things. You have toxins in your food. You have excessive work. You go to bed late. You wake up at an odd hour. You have excessive emotions. Now, any one of these things in isolation, no, probably won't kill you. But all these things combined create a deadly mix which is death by 1,000 cuts. So you have 4 major killers. You have cancer, which in the United States, 41% of people who die of cancer. Heart disease is 23%. Diabetes, 26%. And Alzheimer's is 10%. This is massive. So I like this quote from Steve Jobs. Not that he is somebody I idolize, but he is someone who reached the pinnacle of business success but failed in longevity. So we can take this advice from him before he died. He says, you can employ someone to drive the car for you, make money for you, but you cannot have someone to bear the sickness for you. So no matter how good you are at these things, you cannot outsource your sickness, is the theme. So you must take responsibility for your own health. So Lui Zijian, he said, do not allow blockages in the spirit and body to persist. So now that we understand the causes of illness, the major causes of illness and the 3 treasures, let's understand the nervous system and emotions and how that ties in. Well, the parasympathetic system and the sympathetic system. So the parasympathetic nervous system promotes a rest and digest, feed and breed, while the sympathetic nervous system promotes a fight or flight response, a freeze and disassociate. So you might say, oh, well, the sympathetic nervous system, I don't want that. Actually, it can be a good thing. You want to have a balance of the 2. But in this day and age, people are living chronically in a sympathetic state. So in the sympathetic state, think about it. What do most people do? They get up, maybe even get up late. You have a buzzer waking you up so that, boom, you're already tapping into the sympathetic state. And then you have to rush, eat breakfast real quick, or even if you have time at all, then you jump in the car or on your motorbike and then you race to work, and maybe you're late. Then you're stressed driving to work, so now you're in the sympathetic state again. You get to work and now you've got a deadline, the boss is angry, drink a cup of coffee, now you're in the sympathetic state even deeper. And now by the time lunchtime hits, you're wiped out. You've got to have another cup of coffee to get you up, to move you, and now you're hungry, you eat. Okay, now you go back in the parasympathetic state, hopefully to digest, but you probably don't. You go back to work, you start working intensely, more deadlines, more bosses yelling at you, and then you race home in traffic, and finally you get home and you're wiped out. You have nothing left because the sympathetic state has eaten all your energy. So you sit back, you crack open a bottle of beer, you eat a pizza, and you got nothing left, and you sit on the couch and watch TV to try to tap into the parasympathetic state. But you watch a horror movie or an action flick, and now you're back in the sympathetic state all over again, and you can't sleep because you're looking at your phone before bed. So now you've basically lived in the sympathetic state from the time you got up until the time you went to bed, and you can't get out of it. It's hard. It's hard to tap into the parasympathetic state, and now you have sleep problems, which exacerbates the sympathetic state even worse. So chronically living in the sympathetic state, we increase the brain wave frequency. We go to a beta wave. We emit Wei Qi, that's your guardian Qi, or your immune system, so you burn up your Yang Qi supply. You weaken your immune system, you drain it. You deplete your Jing. You shorten your lifespan. So going back to the 3 treasures, how does this connect? This is depleting the Jing, the sympathetic state. Decreasing your sexual drive. So you won't be able to procreate as well if you're always living in the sympathetic state. And it can create chronically high blood pressure and blood sugar levels, diabetes, and worse. So this is death by 1,000 cuts. So we have emotional habits. So I'm really into neuroscience, and neuroscience gives a good explanation of what's happening and in a way that we can understand how the Qigong is working. So emotions are the chemical consequences or feedback of past experiences. So reliving emotional traumas or experiences keeps you in that same state of mind as when the event happened. And a habit of reliving these emotions is developed, and an addiction to the feeling or adrenaline rush occurs. So we have these emotional loops. So the thoughts drive feelings and feelings drive thoughts. This loop hardwires your brain into the same pattern which conditions your body into the past. Thoughts cause biochemical reactions in your brain that release chemical signals, and these chemical signals make the body feel exactly the way you were just thinking. And these feelings then cause you to generate more thoughts that make you feel the same way you were just thinking. So now you've gone in a complete loop. For example, you go into some trauma that happened to you as a child. Now you have the anger towards your father or mother did that to you, and then you keep reliving that, and now you're back in the sympathetic state, and now you're just reliving that over and over again, and the same chemical signals and consequences are happening in your body, and you're going through that day after day. And as I mentioned before, a lot of the cancer patients I worked with, they're reliving these experiences and traumas over and over again. They can't let them go. You need to be able to let these things go. If you don't, you're hardwiring it. So we want to be able to transform this and break this habit. Well, I have a formula for you. That formula is focused intention plus elevated emotions. This equals transformation. So when you have focused intention, you focus your intention, for example, on the 5-element Qigong meditation. For example, you want to release anger. So my focused intention is to release anger. And then I have a focused intention of bringing in the antidote emotion. Now that antidote emotion, I need to make the amplitude of that emotional feeling stronger than the emotion I want to transform. So that means if I have a lot of anger towards someone, I need that forgiveness, the amplitude of that forgiveness to be stronger than the anger in order to transform it. So I focus my intention of increasing the amplitude of forgiveness to overcome the anger, and now I can start to transform the emotions. Well, if you've read the book, The Power of Habit, it's a great book. I love it. And this is from The Power of Habit. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you to read it. It's on the neuroscience of habits. So what they found is you have a cue, and you have a routine, and then you have a reward. This is how you can create a new habit. So we have these typical habits now. For example, you're a smoker. You get anxiety, so you grab a cigarette. Now someone stresses you, you see a picture of someone dying, on the pack of cigarettes, or somebody stresses you and says, oh, you shouldn't be smoking, and you get more stress and you reach back for the cigarette because your cigarette is your routine, and the feeling that you get from smoking is the reward. Well, that's a dangerous habit, so we need to break it. How can you break it? So for example, you have your cue. Let's say you have body pain, like I'm sitting at a desk working. My master always said people don't listen to their body cues. So the cue is you have body pain, like my lower back hurts. Okay, so you gotta get up and have a routine. So I'm gonna go do my Qigong. So I'm going to go do my Dragon Qigong now. Okay, and then after you have the reward, you have that feeling, oh, my lower back feels so loose and relaxed now, and you kind of bask in that feeling and feel that reward. So you enjoy that feeling. So after you do your Qigong, make sure to enjoy that feeling that you have. Don't just do your Qigong and race back to work. Spend a moment to enjoy that feeling. That's going to hardwire into your brain to remember. So that's your cue, your routine, and then your reward, feeling good. So that's how to make Qigong a habit. That's what I do. I get body pain like anyone else, work at the computer too much. I get the body pain, I go and do that. I get an emotion. Someone makes me angry or I get sad. I go do the Qigong, and then I feel much better, and I enjoy that feeling. So we want to make tapping into the parasympathetic state a new habit. So enjoying that state. So as I just mentioned, when you do that Qigong, you're tapping into the parasympathetic state. And this helps preserve our Jing, our Qi, and our Shen. That's why Qigong practitioners generally have more energy than people who don't, who go through these things. So the Power of Habit says it takes 21 days to make a new habit. Our training is beyond 21 days. It takes 90 days to create a lifestyle. Well, this training is about 90 days. So if you do this training in full, all 4 levels, you'll have created a new lifestyle for yourself. Deep relaxation is a key to longevity. And I'm not talking about, you know, sit back and relax and catch the flow, bro. I'm talking about learning to deeply relax. So how do we deeply relax? Well, we do it through Qigong. And we have 3 levels of relaxation. So we have physical relaxation, that's being able to relax into your posture. Now, I'm not talking about sitting back. I'm talking about really, you have your posture upright, so your bones and your joints are all stacked, and the body can relax. So then once that happens, we can relax the muscles and the meridians. Once we can relax the muscles and meridians, we finally relax the organs and the bones, all the way to the core of the body. So these are the 3 levels of relaxation we want to work on when we're doing our standing Qigong. Why do we want this? Well, as we know, it's a key to longevity, but we can also then lead the Qi to the organs, because the organs are surrounded by this fascia, and when they're tense and tight, and then the circulation can't get into it, we can't lead the Qi to the organs. When we can relax the body, we can relax the organs. Now we can lead the Qi to the organs. So the lungs are the easiest to feel. So you can breathe into your lungs, and you can feel the lungs. You can sense them. You can take a moment, stop, feel your heartbeat. Now, the next is more difficult to feel. It's the kidneys, but they're filled with fluid, so they're easier to feel than the liver and spleen. So if you try to breathe into your lower back, you can try to feel it. Feel your kidneys. Many of you cannot. When you do the Qigong, when you do Dragon Qigong, try to feel your kidneys. Now, the liver and spleen are more difficult to feel because they're not filled with fluid. Well, you have blood in the liver, but it's different than the kidneys. So with the liver, it's easier to feel because it's bigger than the spleen. So you try to feel your liver next, and then finally your spleen. Feeling the spleen could take time. You would feel it mostly in snake, especially as you crouch down. Now we lead the Qi to the organs from the top down to allow the Qi to sink. So when you're doing your Jianzhuang, you're going to relax the heart, relax the lungs, relax the liver, relax the spleen, and finally the kidneys. How do you do this? With a breath to each one. So for example, I'm relaxing the heart. I'm going to breathe into the heart. And now as I relax, exhale, I relax and feel the heart melting. I breathe into the lungs. As I exhale, I feel the lungs melting, relaxing. And then continue down to the liver. Relaxing the spleen. And finally, the kidneys. So when you breathe into that organ area, that brings the circulation. So our guiding questions: how does Qigong cultivate the 3 treasures? And how does Qigong work with the body and mind physiologically and emotionally?
Very well. This was another enlightening presentation by Tivia Feng. And we are moving to another part of the world, New Zealand, where an acupuncturist from England who currently lives in New Zealand, Greg Wagstaff, is presenting another wonderful presentation on Wild Goose Qigong and how it has to do with abundance.
Hey, thank you, Lama Tantrapa Dajahao. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. It's a privilege to be here with you and an honor to share this summit with other fellow practitioners and presenters. Now, I'm here in New Zealand and I'm about 20 hours ahead of some of you, so I may be first up on today's proceedings. But what I wish for you today is that whether you're new to Qigong or a seasoned practitioner, that these presentations will inspire you to either begin your Qigong journey or further deepen your practice. Now, there's many reasons why people come to Qigong: for its health and longevity benefits, for its medical applications or martial applications, for one's inner development. Now, when I started learning Wild Goose Qigong or Dian Qigong 24 years ago, it was to help a long-standing anxiety disorder. And that was a turning point for me as I was moved to retrain in traditional Chinese medicine and undertook teacher training in Beijing with students of the late 27th Grandmaster Yang Meijun. This was just months before she passed away at the age of 106. And now, as a mentor, teacher, Laoshe, Shifu, however you want to call it, part of my role is to nurture the seed in you and to cultivate this path and practice with you. The big idea here is, of course, if we can transform our own mind, body, and realize our own true self, then we can better transform the lives of those around us and indeed the world we're in. So moving forward with this presentation, I'll be going outside to teach you a few moves from the Wild Goose Qigong system. I'll also be giving you free access to the Dian Academy so you can check out further Wild Goose Qigong trainings in your own time. But first I have to tell you about the Great Goose. Now, as you may know, over the millennia, China has evolved thousands of methods or styles of mind, body, spirit cultivation techniques that we now term as Qigong. Some of these, like Dian Qigong, have been handed down from ancient times, and some are more modern creations or hybrids even. Some of these styles are derived from observing the movements and characteristics of animals, like for example the 5 animal frolics with the tiger, bear, deer, monkey and crane. Now the Dian or Wild Goose system is based upon the bar-headed goose. Now right now around April, the bar-headed geese undertake their epic spring migration from the lowlands of India. They fly north over the Himalayas to their breeding grounds in Tibet, China and Mongolia even. They can fly over 1,000 miles in a single day, reaching elevations of 30,000 feet. And to survive these high oxygen-thin altitudes, these geese have evolved a unique physiology, which include a larger heart and lungs, a deeper breathing, and a specialized pulmonary system which helps the blood get through to their wings and around their whole body. They also migrate and nest together in flocks of thousands, communicating with each other in V-shaped formations. And nesting pairs will often stay together for many years to ensure the survival of their offspring. Now, around 1,800 years ago, Taoist hermits living in the Kunlun Mountains observed the extraordinary ways of this great goose, or Dian. And in reverence, they devised a system of health preservation that they named after it, now called the Kunlun Dian Qigong, or Wild Goose Qigong. So this system survives today thanks to the vision of the 27th generation Grandmaster Yang Meijun, who opened the skill to the public in 1978. And around half of these 70 or so Kunlun forms are now public, including medical and martial applications. Our Taoist ancestors encoded much more than a series of 128 moves based on the Great Goose. They actually gave us the whole metaphorical map of our own journey of self-cultivation. These epic migrations of the Great Goose have inspired stories of perseverance, resilience, and adaptation, reflecting the challenges we face on our own human journey. Like the Great Goose, you and I are also on our own journey. You and I have mountains to climb and navigate. We encounter headwinds and obstacles on the path. And like the Great Goose, we can overcome these challenges by undertaking the journey side by side in community. So let's go and do some Wild Goose Qigong together. It's World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. Let's do some Wild Goose Qigong together. I've come outside. The sun is just trying to push through the early morning cloud. This is where I commonly do my Qigong practice in the morning. What I've done, I'm going to show you some moves from the Wild Goose Qigong system. These are moves that I've cherry-picked or extracted from the longer first 64 and the second 64 postures. They're going to demonstrate and give you a feel of the flow and the postures of the Wild Goose Qigong. As part of this summit, you've also got access to the Dian Academy where you can check out all of these trainings, so not just these postures, but the whole first 64, second 64, and other trainings I've created from the Wild Goose Qigong system. So, without further ado, the sun is just pushing through. Let's move on and do some Wild Goose Qigong. So this posture I want to show you is from the beginning of the first 64 exercise within the Wild Goose Qigong system, and it's called Cloud Hands. I'm going to just show you this movement. So there's an alternating step and alternating spreading of a single wing on one side, and then transitioning of the weight, opening of the wing on opposite sides. In the form, you step that 3 times, but we can extend this to stepping a circle. So I'll show you that now. So let's begin with a shoulder width stance, and we're going to just start with our palms or our hands in the small of the back with the palms upwards, and the heku point here in this fleshy bit between the thumb and the first finger, that's called the heku point. That's going to rest in the small of the back over a kidney point called the shenshu point. So this is where the palms come into. So that's where we keep our hands as we're going to start this movement. Going to sink the weight into the left leg and step out with the front right leg, but it's going to be an empty step in as much as there's hardly any weight in it. This front leg is relaxed and the foot is put down on the outside and towards the front of the foot, so that the sole is relaxed and open. So the Yongshen point on the bottom of the foot is relaxed and the whole leg is relaxed. And this is what helps with this alternating yang and yin step. Okay, so you've got this hard and soft relaxed step as we move forward. Anyhow, back to the beginning. We're going to step with the right foot, so we sink the weight into the left leg. Empty step with this right foot. Keep a bit of width between the heels. And now the right hand's going to soften at the wrist, and you draw around the waistline, unfurling that wing, looking at the center of the right palm, and it gathers back in, touches the back. You transition the weight into that front leg, and then step out now with the left foot. Unfurling the left wing, looking at the palm, turning the waist. That gathers in to the left shenshu point. Change the weight, empty step, and you repeat. So you're turning the waist, sinking the weight into the back leg, and the twist comes through, down through the leg and the spine, and you're watching that palm. So the palm, where you're focusing in the center of this Lao Gong point, where your middle finger touches the palm there, Lao Gong point, that's where your focus is, and that's where your intention and the chi will gather in the palm as you turn. And then that is fed into the shenshu, this kidney point. Transition, step, unfurl, palm is at waist height. You're looking down at the Lao Gong. Qi feeds into the left shenshu. Okay, so we can keep going like this, and we're going to step a circle, anti-clockwise circle. So we can start with the left, and you're just going to walk a circle. Doesn't matter too much how many steps you take. Right now, you're just going to practice this move, but just move around in a circle. And then you can step up, bring the palms back to the front, in front of the navel here. So this posture from the Wild Goose Qigong First 64 is called Wild Goose flying up to the left and right 7 times. So this is involving the same stepping as we've done. So you're stepping, exchanging weight, moving forward 7 times. And we're turning the waist as we did with the cloud hands, but now we're bringing the palms up, level with the upper dantian, roughly level with the forehead. The Lao Gong point again is level with the forehead, and the lower hand is level with the lower dantian. So let me just show you this and you can get the feel for it. So we have the stance, shoulder width stance again. You get an empty step with the left foot first. You're drawing up the left hand, then you turn the waist out and you're looking at the left Lao Gong, and this hand is level with the forehead, the lower hand level with the lower dantian. Then you gather back in. Now you're going to cover around the lower dantian, left hand over the right, change the weight, empty step with the right foot, draw up the right hand up the inside line here, comes up to the heart area, excuse me, turn the waist out, looking at the right Lao Gong, and the left hand covers the lower dantian. Then we gather, change the weight, step, and this repeats 7 times. So all the time you're covering this lower dantian, you're not actually touching, but there's a gap, a few inches between the lower dantian, the inner hand and the outer hand. There's a gap there. Just do that from the side. So you can start with the weight in the back right leg, empty left foot, draw up the left hand. As the hand comes up to the heart area, then you're going to turn, look at the left palm, reverse that, gather back in, change the weight, empty step with the right foot, draw up, turn the waist out. So the gaze is following the active hand. Through a lot of the moves, the focus is always watching the active hand here. Okay, because where our focus is where our intention is and where the chi moves to. This is a nice move because it's actually balancing your upper, connecting your upper dantian and your lower dantian alternately on different legs. Okay, from left to right. So this is the connection one will feel here, upper and lower. Gather the chi back in. Give that a go. It's a lovely move. You can just keep repeating that. You can either step forward, 7 steps, or you can stay on the spot by bringing the front foot back in, change the weight, empty step. So turn the waist, the weight sinking down through the back heel, and you're rotating through the spine and the waist, the qua area here. Keep watching the active hand. Okay, that is wild goose flying up to left and right 7 times. So this next movement forms part of a longer sequence within the first 64, connecting with those other postures we've just been over. It's called wild goose looking for food. It's one of my favorite moves within the first 64. Let me show you that. So again, there's more stepping involved, but this movement is a wild goose looking for food. Again, this is repeated 7 times in the form, so it's something we can go over and repeat here. So let me just show you through that, and you can see how this feels. So we've got the shoulder width stance again. We're going to drop into this move by, let's just raise the wings to here. So no higher than the shoulders, the palms. Again, you're going to step out first with the left foot, which means we're going to sink the weight into our right knee. Empty step with the left foot, touching just down on the outside and front of the front foot. So the sole of the foot slightly open. So the Yongquan point on the bottom of the foot is relaxed, as indeed the whole front leg is relaxed. We can refer to these as a yang leg and a yin leg, and these are alternating as we step. So our wings are up. We have a plane coming over. Might be able to remove that. That'll be a good test for the noise reduction. So our first swing is going to be on the left side. Alright, so we're going to bend from the hip. The left hand covers the right. You come up to the knee, push down again. Gaze comes up, then you transition the weight. Empty step with the right foot. We're slightly going out from 11 to 1 o'clock as we step here. So the gaze comes up. Again, this is the top of the breath. And then the gaze drops. Exhale. The wings do this mantling motion. The left hand covers the right up to the knee, pushes down. Come up, breathe in. Top of the move, change the weight, step. Gaze drops, body drops, wings mantle, pull up, push. Step. Let's move back again. I'll break that down a bit more. So what the hands are doing, the left hand is covering the right, they're not touching, a couple of inches between them. The left hand draws up to the knee and then pushes down. So you're drawing chi up and down the shin. So step. And that's the same for both sides. The left hand always covers the right. So lots of things are transitioning here. You're transitioning the weight, and the gaze is going from floor up to horizon. Then we're going from left to right slightly. Breath. What the breath's doing here is you've got one out breath from the top, down, still out, and then as you come out, up, you're breathing in, top of the breath. Okay. So this next posture is from the second 64, and it's called Wild Goose, flying into the wind. It involves the same stepping 7 times. And if I show you from the side, you can see how that looks. Imagine the goose is flying into the wind, gets pushed back by the headwind, changes, and then progresses forward. Okay, so we're getting pushed by the wind, we're absorbing that headwind, and then pushing forward. So let's come to face you. We're going to start with shoulder width stance again, and we're going to push on the left foot first. So I'm going to step with the right foot, the palms come up, basically pushing from the chest. So you transition the weight from the back right leg into the left. And that's the extent of the push here. And then you drag back. So you soften the wrists and you're dragging or pulling the chi back into the palms, the Lao Gong. And then you transition, step, keep a shoulder width stance, shoulder width between the heels. And as you transition, you push, pull back. So the whole move is a pushing, pulling back, push, pull back. Now as you pull back, you need to keep an alignment between the heku points in the palms. Keep these level, keep the elbows, forearms level, and just flex the wrist slightly, opening up this Lao Gong point in the palm there. Once more, push, pull, transition, step, push, So your weight goes forward just so your knee is over your front toe. Don't overextend the arms. So this would be an overextension, full extension. Just come to here. Still some flex in the elbow. Sink back. Step. Push. So if you want to stay on the spot, you just bring your front foot back and step this way. Okay, push, pull, into the headwind, getting pushed back, stepping, pushing forward, flying through into the wind. Okay, give that a try. The next movement I want to show you comes from towards the end of the second 64 within the Wild Goose Qigong exercise. It's called Wild Goose Flies Over the Water. And it's a simple stepping and undulating of the wings here. So it's basically 3 lots of 3. So there's 3 flaps, and then you're going to step with the other foot, and there's 3 flaps of the wing on that side. But I'm showing you this because although there's not so much movement of the whole body in it, it's subtle, because what we're doing is undulating the chi down the wings to the fingertips, where all the channels connect or come to the end of the channel in the fingers. You've got this undulating motion, and that's coordinated with the breath, and it's coordinated with a subtle sinking and expansion through the ground, through the leg here. So we can start on our weight in the back right leg. Got an empty front foot again. Remember, the weight's towards the outside of the front foot and slightly towards the front. So it's opening the Yongxuan point in the bottom of the sole. This is relaxed. So the weight is through the right leg. We're going to raise our wings. The palms are at shoulder height. And there's this little sink motion through the back leg. As you sink, you undulate down the wing to the fingertips. So imagine that movement undulating down to the fingertips, chi reaching the end of the wingtips. So, and with the breath, breathe in. When you come up slightly, exhale as you undulate down to the fingertips. Breathe in, down. After 3 flaps, change the weight. Empty step with the right foot. 1, 2, 3. Change the weight. 1, 2, 3. So there's a little circling going on. So there's an undulation down the arm. There's a little circling of the wrists and the elbows and the shoulder. So this move on the outside doesn't look as though there's much going on, but there's a very subtle movement down through the torso with the weight. Obviously the breath is coordinated with subtle flapping of the wings, and then we're exchanging the legs. So we're then exercising alternate legs. Step 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And step up, gather the palms into the dantian. So at the same time, when you come up, there's a slight expansion across the chest. So undulation includes this expansion of the chest, subtle expansion, sinking, opening and closing. Okay, in time, you'll start to feel that chi, this tingling sensation move all the way down to the fingertips. Now at the end of the first 64, indeed at the end of any practice, no matter how far through the form you get, we're always doing this shou qi or Qigong, which is a gathering of the qi and the sinking of the qi down through the body. So we'll just do a couple, 2 or 3 of these. So your hands are at the side, the palms rotate upwards towards the heavens, and then over the crown, you're smoothing down the front of the body, palms facing inwards, past the forehead, throat, heart, stomach, down to the lower dantian, here just beneath the navel. Relax, and again, breathe in as the hands rise up. Exhale as you smooth down this center line. Little pause in front of the lower dantian. Once more, breathe in. And sink. Keep the gaze forward. And also, at the end, it's always nice just to quietly acknowledge the masters and grandmasters that have gone before us, that have passed this tradition and skill all the way down, all the way back from these 1,800 years ago, right forward to the present day. So a little quiet nod and acknowledgement of that transmission of the skill. Okay, now before I go, if you'd like more Wild Goose Qigong, then as a summit attendee, I want to give you a free 14-day access to the online Nest community and the Diane Academy, where you'll get access to all these training courses. And if you purchase the VIP pass, I'll be giving you a lifetime access to the Wild Goose Qigong, which is a bodybuilding by or body strengthening by slapping exercise. So just follow the link in or around this video, and I'll look forward to serving you further on your Qigong journey. Live long and well, go spread your wings, and I'll hand you back over to Lama Tantrapa.
Well, that was a nice presentation about Dayan Qigong. We have wonderful presenters from all over the world for you folks. And the next one is the owner of the retreat center called Shambhala in Bali, Indonesia, Ilona Selke. Well, Sheldon, perhaps you can carry on and introduce the presentation by Ilona.
Yeah, Ilona is going to be doing her presentation on manifesting abundance in the gamma state. So exciting to hear about how she approaches abundance from that standpoint.
Welcome to the Flow Summit, where I'm going to give you some brain hacks of how to create a flow state. It will take practice, but it will be additional to all the practices that you may already be using, but you may not have known about how to utilize your brain in a specific state that hasn't been talked much about in all of the meditation training material that is commonly out. Now, what is a flow state? It is the state in which we are so absorbed and so singular-mindedly focused, getting absorbed in a piece of artwork, getting absorbed in any activity that draws our attention into a singular focus, to where we then lose the sense of time, space, and the separation and the work that we think it normally takes to get something done. But we get elevated to a higher state. Now, why is that? Let me break it down to you in 2 easier to understand concepts. The one concept that you've already probably heard about is the discussion in the scientific community, in the quantum theorists community, about particle and wave. Particle and waves are the yin-yang aspect of duality. You know, they couldn't for the longest time and still haven't decided whether light, a photon, is a particle or a wave. And I will tell you in a moment what that has to do with you being able to enter into a flow state more easily. So when a thing is considered a particle, it is harder, has a defined form. It's like a billiard ball that you push and shove and you create predictable outcomes. Now, when we as humans know ourselves to become a little denser, tighter, we think of ourselves as becoming defined, having an ego, a structure, which is important to have at times. But other moments, we wish to become more permeable, more of a flow state person, more of a wave type energy. And when light is measured not as a particle where it hits the object, but rather behaves as a wave, it seems to be simultaneously entering into a field behavior. You and I can do the same thing. We simply have to shift our attention away from the focusedness on form, our ego, our what defines and separates us, to a way of perceiving the field and becoming energetic wave forms. And I will give you two techniques in which that is achievable in a more easy to do manner. How do we shift? Let's do it right now. One easy way to shift into a wave type focus, away from this particle focused. First, let's take a look at something you can look around you. Look at the things that surround you, your body, the who you are, the thoughts you might have about yourself. I am this age, I'm 63, I am a vegetarian, I do yoga, I don't drink alcohol, I like this, I think like this. That's my definition of who I am. Now, you may have a different definition, you may have a different sense, but I am kind, I'm thoughtful, I have these principles, whatever comes to your mind. Now, let's both enter into a wave type state of consciousness by focusing on opening your heart, let's say, opening the energy body, opening a chakra of yours, of your choice, but the heart is the easiest. And think of something or look at something that is beautiful around you. I look around, I see some flowers, some orchids. I am here in Bali with you, where we have the Shambhala Retreat Center, and I look at the sunshine. And you take something that you can look at around in your area, in wherever you're sitting or laying, and let your eyes glance on something that is beautiful. Pick a focus and go, that color is beautiful, that sunlight, or maybe even something that happened today. And just dwell on that thought for a moment. The gratitude maybe that you feel with it. Now it activates our feeling body. And our feeling body occupies our energetic body, which is more palpable outside of ourselves and can be measured through electromagnetic measuring devices. The output, the auric output, can be measured and can show people where we have strength and weaknesses when they have the measuring devices. The aura photography, you can do that. It's radioactive permeation of your body. Now let's go a little bit further and just sense as if you could ride a wave or feel the auric field, the bubble that you are in, the sphere, as if everything were liquid presence. Opening maybe your dantian, your stomach, your solar plexus, to sense that field. We're all equipped with the sensing faculty that feels the field, additional to the capacity of our mind to focus on a detail. Now, when we start becoming more aware of multiple things simultaneously, we become wave-like, like the photon and the wave aspect, the particle and the wave aspect of a photon. We can start sensing now. You can start emanating further into another place, dimension, time, space, and other aspects of your presence. What I'd like you to do with me right now is pump presence into your cocoon, as if you could illuminate your cocoon. Go with me. Can you intentionally activate your presence? Maybe even feel your energy trickling and trickling through the back part of your spine, surrounding you, emanating out of your hand. Now, that's one way of entering a wave state. Now allow me to show you a second way of activating that wave state. I'd like you to listen to me while you are pumping your presence, which you can extend as far out as you feel comfortable. Some people feel comfortable this far. Some people just rather think of themselves as big as a galactic being. But whatever you can feel, be that. So you're entering in your consciousness a perception that requires that you step outside of the detailed, focused mind attention. Now, I will show you how you can bridge this into manifesting better and creating your visions more efficiently in the next step, which now requires a little bit of explanation about the function of our brainwave states. We're accustomed to hearing about lowering our brainwaves into the alpha brainwave state and theta brainwave state until we go into sleep in delta. Let me give you a chart here and show you. We normally look at the chart like this. We have a beta brainwave state, which is between 14 and 20 hertz, or in that range approximately, which represents our daytime consciousness. Then we have the daydreaming consciousness, which is between 8 hertz and 12 hertz. It happens to also be the brainwave frequency of the Earth. Schumann measured it at 7.83 hertz and said that is the pulse the Earth moves with. I will give you a secret about how the CIA hacked the Earth brainwave in order to gain access to higher states of intuition in a moment. Stay with me as we describe the brainwave states a little bit further. It is measured through EEG devices that measure the electromagnetic frequency output of the brain. Now, the below alpha and getting lower is the next level is called theta, between 4 and 8 hertz cycles per second, and where your brain makes and in that range, the brainwave frequencies, which happens to be deep relaxation, deeper than reverie and imagination, entering into a dreamlike state. Maybe as you're listening to me, you might already feel a sense of entering that comfortable state of deep, gentle relaxation. Below that, we have the delta state between 1 hertz, 1 cycle, and 4 cycles per second, which is our deep sleep state, dreamless, deep rest. Now, what most meditation teachers do not talk about and do not practice is because it is rather challenging and difficult, and where the flow state comes in is that we have another brainwave state which is beyond the beta brainwave state called the gamma brainwave frequency, which is 24 hertz and up, oftentimes measured around 44 hertz, but even as high, and depending on the meditator and the trainedness, into the hundreds of hertz. Now, what happens when we go into the frequencies that go really high up? Let me liken it to a sunbeam that comes from the sun through the air into the ocean. Very deep down, close to the bottom of the ocean, you have very few photons hitting those regions. It's dark. It's like that deep slumber state. Very little activity. As you raise your attention to the higher levels of the ocean, the surface level, and then go up, you'll see like a gradual increase of photons. And if you put a microphone to it, it would go from and there is where you may have heard of the God frequency. Maybe in your meditations, you have experienced, and that's where I guide people into, even to create their best soulmate experience. It's the highest form of Tantra because it's the union of soul that starts to happen there. And when you are able to reach those high states, which I'll explain to you in a moment how to get there, your power of manifestation will increase by magnitudes of tens, by hundreds. Because even though we hear from the Silva mind control method that deep, slow brainwave states are very effective, and remember, I will tell you how the CIA has made use of that to improve the power of their intuition. The very high frequencies, the gamma frequencies, are the brain hack I am talking to you about today to increase the flow state. And you can listen to this talk a number of times in order to get the details. I will also give you some links below to exercise and experiment with. But one of the guided meditations that can take you there is imagining, which is what a lot of the Buddhist teachings, especially the Buddhist mental tantra teachings do. They imagine a deity with whom they engage themselves that by nature and vibrates extraordinarily beautifully with full of the highest virtues and luminosity. So they imagine sitting with that deity and then raising themselves to that state. And here is where raising comes into a higher art form. You do not touch the best by putting body to body. The merging of soul is the only place where you can transcend duality, because that part of our soul sits at a different dimension, which is beyond time and space. That is where gamma frequencies can help you enter that portal. So how do you get there? You can imagine, and this may take some time to practice, but an easy way to imagine is to go into stillness, breathe the yogic breath in, holding your breath, coming, breathing out, holding your breath, breathing back in, holding your breath, breathing back out. Do that for a while and your brainwave states will slow down. Then you take your attention and you put it to the center of your third eye, or then in your crown chakra and above your crown chakra. Continuously refining your presence into your third eye, spinning your chakra, then next spinning your crown chakra, and then jumping to another octave beyond what we would call time, space, location. The chakras, the 7 chakras we're used to, ordinarily occupy time, space the way we think of time, space. Even the crystalline worlds of our consciousness have duration. But then, when you take your thought, your energy, your focus, your chi body, and start rising on what I would say is the upward return path to the source, like the elevator that incarnates back up and becomes a whole. And I truly am a firm believer that manifestation is here to be celebrated because it's God's expression, but it thrives on us doing the return journey in our consciousness. Start assembling your point of reference and your point of supra consciousness in a point beyond and above where you ordinarily consider time, space, and your seat of your emotions or mind to be. So let's move together to a more refined space, as if you could take a journey, take all that chi you felt before that helped you to sense the outer world and move it inward in a fine stream and raise it up. You may simultaneously feel the activation of all of your chakras, depending on how well you've trained yourself, and raise it to an octave. I'm going to scoot down here for a moment, to an octave that is maybe a foot above your head imaginarily. You can also place it outside of the universe, outside of time space. I normally end, I'm going to gift you with a guided meditation that guides you there using meditation where the ascension is practiced with another being and where you refine your focus first into your own seat of your soul. So go with me and pretend you could ignite a solar star, a star diamond above your head in singularity. I will do it with you right now. And as you come along and we start refining our presence, there is a moment where we go like ding, 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 ding. I think I sense you at that moment that exists in that space that is no space, no time. That is a presence. What your brain is doing at the same time, with gamma frequencies, you can have your eyes wide open. With alpha, we have found when you open your eyes, people, untrained people, most of the time go and drop back or rise back up to beta. But with gamma frequencies, you can have your eyes wide open and increase the brainwave activity with your imagination of rising to another fine point in intensity. Your inner sound will sound like psst. Intensify your presence. And your brain will start overarching between the right brain and the left brain hemisphere, between the limbic brain and the frontal lobes, and start overarching something that has been associated with the flow state. It's the gamma brainwave frequencies. The practice is that you learn to differentiate all the different states and come into a singularity point where you go poof. And the easiest way of doing that is, as I mentioned, and I will give you an exercise to do where you imagine another ascended being, master being, deity, even a beloved, and allow yourselves each to find that seat of your soul and then come into proximity, come ever closer. Start pinging each other at that level so that eventually what happens is that your combined presence becomes the portal into a yet greater beyond time space, opening, oftentimes associated with the feeling of coming home, of going truly beyond the sense of separation and beyond the sense of I am this and you are that. It's like we are one. And the states continue to refine as you go through decades of training with your awareness. Now, the brain hack I'm talking about is twofold. One is becoming aware of energetic presence, of feeling into the field. If you are in traffic, you can feel the beauty of the world around you. It changes your attention into the periphery rather than just the focal point. When driving, maybe you may want to focus on the focal point. But a lot of people go into alpha brainwave states while driving and start perceiving the field and act within the whole waveform of humanity. Now, I promised you I would share with you how the CIA was trained to use certain brainwave states and the Earth's magnetic brainwave state of the alpha or Schumann frequency to improve their accuracy of intuition. And you can do that too. However, my favorite way is learning the Earth deep alpha brainwave state is around 8 hertz. That's the lower end of alpha, which is not dreaming, not sleeping, but actively envisioning. And that is where your manifestation can amplify. You can utilize, and this is what the CIA did. Dr. Bob Beck, a friend of ours, had been developing a brainwave, actually a biofeedback device to enhance people to entrain their brainwave states to specific points. And he had discovered if people tuned in their brain waves to 7.8 hertz, the Schumann frequency, they suddenly had the power of the magnetic field structure of the Earth and the ability to look across the horizon, so to speak, at their fingertips. That means when you go into meditation and into a deeper reverie and start focusing on a goal that you wish to achieve, you can feel, enter the movie, enter the sensation, enter the glory of your fulfillment, and ask yourself, which I talked about in my TEDx talk, the two questions that can help you create a brighter future is, what do I really want in the end? What is it that I really want? When having a car to manifest, what do I really want? The feeling of freedom, the sensation of whatever that is for you. See, we are after feeling states and inner experiences that we think outer experiences bring to us. So when in the Living from Vision course, we teach people how to lower their brainwave states into the alpha brainwave state and then pre-envision what they want to experience. So the CIA was trained then and hired by the CIA. Bob Beck was hired out and said not to sell this device to anybody else, to entrain their people in the ability to hit the specific Schumann frequency with precision. And when they did, they were able to read documents at a distance. They were able to do drawings of designs at a distance. They could hack a lot of knowledge without physically going there. Yes, that's what the government likes to spend their money on when nobody's looking. And they, of course, try to suppress that kind of information in the public eye, naturally. So not all of us know about it. Bob Beck was requested not to sell those devices or make them for anybody else but them. And on a side note, I want to share with you an anecdotal story Bob Beck used to share and chide us for when my husband and I, back when we were in the young days and we were in our 20s and kids, would eat at a restaurant and have a salad sauce. And he said, don't eat that sauce. It has garlic in it. And he told us the story of how when the CIA people were trained in doing precision work with their brainwave states in the alpha brainwave Schumann frequency, when they ate garlic, they could no longer precisely access that state. They had no further total control over the brainwave states, which is why many monasteries in India do not use any onions, garlic, or leek. They all belong to that family, but garlic especially. And the Italians, what they eat when they don't want to see ghosts? A clove of garlic, because it shuts down the perception. So if you want to train yours, refrain from the garlic. All right, so that's one of the anecdotes I wanted to share with you. But additionally to manifesting in the alpha brainwave frequency, if you learn to access the gamma brainwave frequency, you can be with your eyes wide open and meet another being in the room while they're having dinner with you, and you can have a conversation, not a conversation, an illuminated presence of divinity with each other as you each raise to a higher pinnacle point that then reaches outside of the confines of time space. And though the information can flow to you at an alpha level, at an intuitive level, and training your imagination, dialoguing with your emotions at that level, for which I've written a children's book and children can do it at ease, you can train your brainwave states to coalesce into a singularity at a higher point in your consciousness and create with increasing. You can actually buy devices to train yourself to reach higher states of gamma frequencies. And that is what they discovered when they measured the brainwave frequencies of well-trained monks. Tibetan monks had high capacities of generating gamma frequencies, and they have access to knowledge that goes beyond the normal alpha brainwave states. There are the trainings for, and they call it the large boat, that many people can learn, and lower brainwave entrainment is certainly something we are now learning to do, especially in our rapid fire left brain focused world. Introducing our right brain and becoming whole brain with our limbic brain is definitely the step we need to do as humanity. But then you and I, we can become heightened flow state people by focusing in dimensions that access time space from a vantage point which has an umbrella into a much larger space. And that gives you the capacity of being in a flow state, even at the fingertips of command of your mind, of saying, I wish to go into gamma brainwave frequencies. You can do it, eyes open, go into those states. And whatever you start focusing on will naturally bring to you all the resources, because you are operating from the origin of your consciousness and not divesting your attention into the periphery of who you are. You're going to the source and unite yourself with the origin of all that is. When you operate from that state that comes from the source into time space, you walk amongst the order of a higher order of beings here on earth. And that is what I'd like to invite you in. And I will give you a link below where you can practice with another deity of your choice the ascension into a higher state of consciousness. And join me on my Living from Vision Academy online school to train your mind, or follow whatever trainings you are already doing. And there are many paths to Rome. So I encourage you to do all of them, whether it's Tai Chi, Qigong, it's yoga, whatever you know to do, or a mixture of them. Do everything, because it's not just one thing. It is learning to become a wave type being and to incorporate everything with precision at a broader level of understanding your humanity and developing the compassion, because that is in our heart, mind, and spirit. If we feel the wholeness, which is what the CIA people discovered, when they discovered that they were one with a distant object, they quit the job. They said, I can no longer fight against that other, because I am part of the field that is both sides. So let's become the harbinger of light, of unity consciousness, and a great growing body of humans here on this earth that can walk around with eyes wide open in a supra state of consciousness. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best in practicing heightened states of your flow awareness. Namaste.
Oh, wonderful presentation. And I want to remind all our viewers that we are going to momentarily stop this broadcast because it's time for us to begin our first panel discussion dedicated to Qigong for a higher quality of life. And when we start our broadcast with a panel discussion with the panelists present in it, you will need to restart or refresh your page. Basically, that's something that is as easy as simply when you see that this video stops, simply click the circular arrow and the page will refresh, and you'll be able to see the next presentation as soon as it's up, which will be the panel that will feature a number of wonderful masters.